do it in English.
Okay, in English.
May I introduce you? My name is Bob and I am the miller today. At first I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Anyway, well, we're cutting wood with the help of the wind, and at the moment the wind is not quite strong. Sometimes my partner will give him a little push and you see the frames are moving, but I'm afraid today Mother Nature is celebrating Christmas, I think. Well, at the moment we've got a log over here. That's a trunk, that's a log. And the log is laying on the carriage. And the carriage, we've got two carriages, and the carriage can move forwards and backwards, like this. Like this, or like that. See, same as that one over there. I've got a log over here, and when I put this lever, start to pull, same as that one. So every time the frame goes up, he's pushing the carriage forward. And with a good wind, I'm afraid not today, with a speed of about 2.5, 3 meters in 1 hour. And it's not very quick. I think an electric saw company does it in about 10 seconds. But it's the traditional way of working, because this mill is totally new. This mill is brand new. Compared with our next door neighbors, they're old monuments. And this mill is only 11 years old. But the technique, the way of doing, the mechanism is from 400 years ago. And before they were working with those mills, they were cutting manual by hand. And it takes an enormous heavy work. It takes enormous long time. Well, and if you count the blades, 1 blade, 2 persons. I've got 8 blades, 10 blades in that. So there's 20 men. And sometimes I've got 10 blades in that blade, there's 40 men. So those mills took over the work of many hand cutters. And they could compete until the introduction of the steam engine. Industrial Revolution 1870, 1860. And then you get steam power, and you've got a petrol motor and electricity, and last but not least a circular saw, and it was over with the wind-driven mills. But they built this mill, a new mill, to show you, especially our children and our next generations, how did they do it in the past, sort of industrial history. That's what we tried to show you. And we're cutting the wood for the clients. It's a commercial business. So we're cutting wood for furniture makers, building firms. Wow. Give them a little push. Building firms, private persons. So basically it's an ordinary wood firm, no more and no less. So we're selling the wood for the clients, and that's what we do. So about 30–40% of our income is the selling of the wood, and 60–70% is you. And we are all volunteers. It's a hobby. We are operating this mill to show you how it's going in the past. The logs coming out of the river. So what we do, we have a winch, we roll the cord till the river, choose a big log, put a chain around the log, and we hoist the logs inside with the help of the wind. So we've got here a winch over here, and I've got a winch over there. So that's how we do it. Excuse me. Because he's turning slow, but he's still getting it. And you should consider one frame is about 1,600 kilo. Oh. Well, I've got 3 of them, so it's more than 4 tons what he has to set in motion. So we need a high amount of wind to work with. It's moving anyway. I can show you a moving mill, but cutting, I'm afraid that's out of the question. And if you can use your imagination, suppose this is a heavy log. So we towed it inside, and it's hanging like this. And then we pull the carriage under the log and we lower them slowly on the carriage, same as this one. And then we fix them with metal bars so we can't move. Then we switch on the mechanism and we start to cut. 2.5, 3 meters in 1 hour with a good wind. And because the miller depends on the force of the wind, and then Mother Nature, the miller is always keep an eye through the window what the weather is doing. because the weather circumstances are very important. If you want to be a miller in Holland, you can follow a training and you can get your certification and you are allowed to turn a wind-driven mill. It's like getting your license for driving a car. And the meteorology, the weather is very important in the life of a miller. You should know about gust of winds, high pressure, low pressure, heavy situation with lightning and thunder, because the mill is built of wood and thatch, so it's a flammable building. And many mills has been hit by lightning and burned down completely down. So the miller is always keep an eye on the weather, through the doors, through the windows, what the weather is doing. And in the past, no weather forecast. How did they do it? No radio, no television. They knew exactly what's going to happen. If the miller was suffering from rheumatism, westerly wind, sure. Headache, northerly wind. Corns, easterly wind, and so on. And you know what we do today? We've got our modern equipment. We know exactly, same as you, we know perfectly what the weather is doing. So it's easy, you can see the showers coming up to us. What else do you want? Modern techniques. But locally the circumstances could always be different, so we're always keen on the weather situation. That's what the miller has to pay attention on it. And if some of you would like to see it, I've got a model over there. So I'm going to make a step forward so I can show you the mechanism of the frame. If you are interested. I put it in here. That's the way it's going. And it's quite simple. This technique is 400 years old, but you find it in every car. It's an ordinary crankshaft. 3 frames going up and down. So you can talk of a 3-cylinder windmill. 3 frames in an excellent balance, in an angle of 120 degrees. 3 times 120, 360. Well, everybody knows it. It's a good example of a 3-stroke windmill. Perfectly. And the local blacksmith was making the crankshaft. And crankshaft is being pushed forward by a vertical axe. I slide in the mill, and in the top of the mill, you have the biggest of them all. That's where the wings are fitted on. And when I come to the mill, the wind, levant, northwest, north, west, southwest, south. So the miller can turn the turret 360 degrees around because he's catching the wind. He has to know exactly where. And at the moment the wind is a bit southwesterly, from this way. So you can turn the turret any direction you like. Put the sails on, leave the brake, and you've got a mill. It's going to turn when enough wind. That's in short terms my explanation. I can answer your question if you like. And if you've got questions, I can answer them in French and German too. And if you don't have any questions, you can see the film inside, you can drink hot chocolate, you can walk over the yard. And I wish you a nice and pleasant day and a Merry Christmas. And I thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.